everybody, we're back with another discussion. It's Shay.
And Armin.
And we're going to be talking about all of the Marvel TV shows currently, and how they kind of all are intertwined, and our thoughts about them.
Yep, so let's get to it. Okay, so Marvel TV. It started off a little shaky with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay, mind you, we loved it, so everybody else thought it was shaky.
Yeah.
We have stuck around and watched everything.
I think the problem is, starting right off with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., because that's the first, that's how I want to start this. It was a slow burn, and they had to wait till the Winter Soldier, because they were told about the Hydra twist. The moment that happens, 180, completely different show, go into Season 2, start introducing Inhumans, Season 3, Inhumans everywhere, Season 4, Ghost Rider, LMDs, alternate realities, Season 5, space travel, future, oh my god, like, the show has literally every season reinvented itself 2 to 3 times, so I think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. honestly is awesome, and that was a good start. That's what I say about it.
It really was, and it is very hard to me for the rest of all of the different TV shows that are coming on after to be able to live up to what Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has been able to do.
Yeah.
But mind you, every show has done it in their own way.
And that's the thing I like that you brought up, because here's the thing. We used to watch the CW shows.
Yes.
And we stopped because every single show got to the same repetition, the same thing, the same, almost, you know, the 7th or 8th episode, what's going to happen. You know, the 13th to 14th episode, the bad guy reveal. You know, the 17th, there's a dire battle, and then there's a slowdown to save CG for the last 2. It got to that point. There has never been that in a Marvel show.
That is very true. I'm bad at predicting things. He's able to, because he's watched so many different shows, kind of pre-predict a lot of the shows and where the direction they're going. Yeah. When I was able to start doing that with the CW shows, that's how you know they were getting repetitive.
We just stopped kind of watching and fell off that wagon. And it's not, the quality of the shows has remained. They're consistent.
Yes.
The problem here is that Marvel, going from like the likes of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to the monumental deal they announced of Netflix, right? And then at the same time doing Agent Carter. Agent Carter was 100% different than Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because it was a period piece. They dealt with, once again, like dark matter and alternate reality seeping in. And once again, it was unique.
It was. And then you now are going to have like the Netflix series, which the only thing we don't know is where in the timelines they actually are.
There's always those little placements, but they never want to confirm to us 100% like the official, which I like because it kind of makes it a little ambiguous, you know?
And each of them have their own strengths. I think the only thing we've noticed that's repetitive with all of the shows is Episode 7 is the episode that gives you the most flashbacks.
We're getting into the villain flashbacks, and or the main hero is getting hurt for 2 to 3 episodes because they need to show their humanity. Which, once again, that is a repetitive thing, but
it's different with every single character that allows you to really feel and want to stay connected, because you're like, Luke Cage, when he sat there and he got shot in the head and was literally like unable to do an entire episode, it was very different than when it was with Daredevil, when Matt Murdock was injured because and he couldn't do
when Nabu slices him aside, he was completely different. Luke was still at it. Iron Fist got shot very early on in the first season. He was bleeding and he was trying to figure it out, and he lost his chi. So they all handled it differently, which I really like. And that's something that the Netflix shows are kind of keeping a similar, yet each one has a different feel, because you got the PI, you know, with Jessica Jones, and that's a lot more of a different show than Luke Cage, who's clearly in Harlem, and there's a lot of musical themes, and especially the second season was so awesome to hear some of that music. And then
Season 2 of Luke Cage, I gotta stop and talk about it for a second, is probably one of my favorite Netflix series seasons. Not only because of the music, which they kept from Season 1 into Season 2. They escalated it to its own new level.
But they brought on a lot more local artists from New York, which is awesome, because you're like, oh wow, that's kind of cool. So it kind of evolved what season 1 did in a natural, progressive manner, I would say.
Yeah, and the villains as well in season 2.
Bushmaster, awesome.
Because we had so many complaints with season 1 how they kind of just rushed Diamondback.
Diamondback?
Yeah, I think it's Diamondback.
Yeah, I was thinking Leatherhead for some reason. I got too much Serpent Society on my mind. I'm still clamoring for those dudes to show up somewhere.
Well, we kind of had them a little bit. Yeah. But from what people said suffered with Diamondback to now you had Bushmaster, who was all around just amazing. Yeah. They do truly listen to the fans when it comes to issues from season 1 to season 2, which, as you guys will have probably already watched, our review of Iron Fist season 2. Iron Fist season 2 has such a phenomenal improvement with the fighting style, which everybody yelled about. Yep. You know what? Honestly, I'll say it like this. Everybody was very angry with the fact that Danny, who is supposed to be an American who gets Iron Fist power, they gave it to Colleen, who is Asian background, who now they also revealed that her entire lineage and history had it. I honestly
think that's them kind of backpedaling on it to make some fans happy, which is okay because it works for the story.
It does.
Which I guess then brings us to story. Let's talk about the 2 most odd Marvel Cinematic Universe entries so far. So on Hulu you have Runaways, and on Freeform you have Cloak and Dagger. This is as far away as you get from anything they've done so far. Runaways at one point was supposed to be a movie. They said TV series makes more sense.
And it really did.
Runaways is currently my favorite Marvel TV series.
I had the issue of I just freshly read all, and I mean all of the current Runaways prior to them having the show come out. So at first I did what most people did. I don't like how they changed the character and that, and then I had to stop and take a backpedal and be like, you know what? This wouldn't have worked out. That wouldn't have worked out. The characters.
I've started coming at it from the same angle I come at it as everything comic book live action now, really. They're going to change everything. Just make sure that the characters stay true to themselves and use elements of what's happened. They did that perfect for me. Gosh. But the reason I loved it more than everything else, it truly gave me a look into a different corner of the MCU. It was very not high stakes, not even as high stakes as the Netflix stuff. Like, it's so much more contained, and the characters and the differences of them and experiencing that high school life and following the teenagers. It's what I love about X-Men that we've never gotten with the X-Men.
Yes.
That's what it gave to me, so I really love it for that aspect.
I agree with that, especially because of the fact that with these 2 particular shows, you're dealing with teenagers. You're dealing with children, basically. Yep. And all of the other TV shows that we've gotten don't deal with that. They deal with adults and the issues and that adults have to deal with. This, they were able to sit there and allow kids, teenagers in school, be able to be the highlight. I like, though, that they had the parents in Runaways a lot more forefront, because when you read the comic, you're like, oh, they're just, where are they? Like, it seems like the parents are never there.
They're equally important to the show as the kids are, which brings me then to more kids, which brings me to the Runaways. Massive changes from the comics obviously happened.
You mean Cloak and Dagger?
No, I mean, like, brings me to the Runaways comics.
Oh,
that's what I'm trying to say, which massive changes happen, but I'm okay. Which then brings me to Cloak and Dagger. Massive changes from the comics.
But you have to respect what they kept.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know almost anything about Cloak and Dagger.
I knew the basics.
So, the basics of Cloak and Dagger, they got their powers while they were in jail because they were drug addicts.
There's drugs involved, there's a bunch of stuff, they're in New York, yada yada yada. But the show, it deals with addiction. It deals with the teenagers. It deals with racism that's modern day, which I don't want to talk about in this. I really do not, but they deal with it in a really great way. And it was important to me because the Marvel Cinematic Universe, when you watch it so far, up until Cloak and Dagger, it didn't dabble in that. Cloak and Dagger hits you over the face and slams your face into it, going, no, it exists in this universe too. And I really appreciated that because, more so than anything, Cloak and Dagger feels realistic.
It is probably the most real feeling. Yes, they have powers, but
Right.
They put them, instead of in New York, which is where Cloak and Dagger are, they moved them to Louisiana, which Louisiana is the most perfect place for them because of the fact that they also deal with voodoo magic.
Right.
And voodoo is still, even today, huge in the culture of New Orleans.
And also, you're pulling back away from the MCU. Setting that series anywhere around New York. I feel way too crowded in New York with just having 5 people running around and then Spider-Man and the Avengers. Like, back away. So they strategically took them, placed them right down there, away from everybody.
Yep, and
smart, and it makes them have their own little corner of the universe that feels unique. So,
and they even brought somebody, though, who was in New York, brought them down, and I like that they're like, you know what? That's how we're going to make it so that it ties in with everything else. We're going to bring this one character that we've only seen, like, what, in 1 or 2 episodes?
She gets mentioned in Luke Cage Season 2. They're like, the Officer O'Reilly's down there. I was like, wait a second. And then it's mentioned back and forth on the other show. So I was like, okay, this is kind of awesome that they mention it. So the TV shows, honestly, I think they sit in their own corner. They're almost like MCU light because the movies don't mention them. But the movies can't mention them because it's a 2-hour movie that has to service to service what they're doing.
Correct.
And the shows have to backpedal off of it. But the shows mention the movies because that's the big stuff. Like, if an event as big as Sokovia happens in TV shows, you're damn sure that it's going to be mentioned in the movies. But that's never going to happen because it can't happen yet. And I think that's why a lot of people are kind of like, hate some of the Marvel TV shows, which I think is completely bogus. Like, it's just, it doesn't matter to me. They're not as important, you know?
I truly love the TV series because I feel like it gives us more into the cinematic universe's world.
Yeah.
Especially Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because they directly deal with events that happen in the movies 100% immediately after, except the newest issue, which is Avengers 4.
Right, Avengers Infinity War and 4 cannot be dealt with. And we know every single season of everything that comes before it happens before the snap. Honestly, however Avengers 4 shakes out, how that affects everything will be felt through the TV shows, and I can't wait to see that. But overall, I think Marvel TV has truly carved out its own niche among TV properties, where if you watch one, you feel like, oh my god, if I go watch the second one, I feel like there's more. But at the same time, if you just watch Luke Cage, you don't have to watch anything else, and you got a great series.
Correct.
And I've noticed that through a lot of people I talk to, and I think that's the strength of the Marvel Cinematic Universe in every aspect. You can watch everything standalone, or you can watch it together, and it feels like you know more.
Yeah, I actually will even bring up, because there was one TV series that I'm really surprised you forgot about, because you love it to death. Punisher.
Oh, I thought you were about to bring up my nightmares.
No.
Sorry, Medusa.
Oh, no. There's also that one. But with Punisher, back when I used to have a normal 9-to-5 job, I recommended to one of my coworkers, she's like, you love everything that's going on with Marvel and that. I kind of want to get a little nerdier. This is what I like. So I told her, try Punisher. She loved it. And she was like, but wait, there's these questions that I have. I'm like, okay, now that you watched what you love, go back and find it in Daredevil. She's like, you know what? I had very different thoughts about Daredevil, but now watching it, I was able to understand the character I liked. And that's what I really, really like about all of those, is you can do that. You can sit there and be like, I love Punisher. I only want to know about Punisher. You know what? Fine. I want to know a little bit more. I'll get into the... Wait a second. I kind of really like that. Who's this character? That's honestly how my mom has been. She's
I've told the story before, and I'll say it again to new people. My dad didn't care for anything MCU or anything. No. And then the Winter Soldier came out, and he was like, you got any good action movies? I was like, I got Winter Soldier, Captain America. He was like, fine, bring it over, I'll watch that crap. And then he calls me up, he's like, yo, what you got? So I literally brought him the entire MCU up until like 2 movies after Winter Soldier, and he watched them all, and he was like,
what's
oh
next?
Man. And then he watched Jessica Jones out of nowhere, because it was just new. He goes, wait, wait, this is connected to everything. So we watch Daredevil, Luke Cage, Iron Fist. Now he goes to all the premieres with us.
Yes.
Because there's all that connective tissue that he wants in there. And I think that's the strength. Watch one, and if you like it, you're going to broaden yourself out. And maybe you'll watch Ant-Man, you'll go, that's not for me. I'm not going to watch the sequel to Ant-Man. But you're going to see him in Infinity War, you'll be like, oh, okay. And it might bring you back to the next one, right? So, the magic of Marvel, I think the key to Marvel has really been this connective tissue, and nobody's done it like the TV side. I honestly think it's handled so well, and I can't wait to see what more they have coming at us, because it's not stopping anytime soon. It's only going to expand soon. Yeah. So,
and I'm going to bring it up, even though you bashed his head down on the table. We loved The Inhumans. We watched it and we really liked what they did because it was a very specific storyline, though. But the only issue is it had to get rushed, and it was after something they pre-promised and then backed out of. Because
Inhumans' fault is that it was rushed. The story they had conceived would have been awesome. The actors they got were great.
Oh, they're phenomenal.
But they got Scott Buck after he messed up Iron Fist to go to this because he takes $50 million, he pockets 40, makes it on 10. Yeah. So you got what you got. And it's unfortunate. Inhumans is not the worst.
No.
It had a good basis, but it suffered. And that's unfortunate because the Inhumans on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. are absolutely awesome.
And, so, of course, then that's really the only series that makes you ask more questions than you can get answered.
And you're never going to have them answered.
You never know.
No, that's never happening. Oh, Trust me.
That's sad. I loved it, though. I will say.
Yep. I loved it at that's a 6.5 out of 10.
I loved it because it was the only way I was going to be able to ever see Medusa, who's somebody I really want to cosplay as. I am not shaving my head, people. I'm going to tell you guys that.
And I love Black Bolt, so at least they got that right. But, hey, Marvel TV, we want you guys to let us know what is your favorite series so far, and what do you hope comes out in the future? Pie in the Sky, what do you want to see as a series? Give me it.
Oh man, you're having to put me on the spot.
5, 4, 3.
I really want a female team up, which it seems like we're going to be getting. If you watch Iron Fist Season 2, I really want to have the potential of Colleen and Misty Knight together, and possibly throwing in another female.
I think they toss in Hellcat.
Oh, yes.
I think that's how they do the daughters.
Yes. I want that.
All right.
That's what I want.
Blade. It needs to happen. They won't stop teasing it, but they're not. Look, he's not worthy of a movie. I'm sorry. Blade's time in the movies is up. This is a TV character because that's the story you tell on TV.
We had also a TV series that was a very short run of a TV series.
12 episodes on Spike. It was awesome.
And it showed you who the character was a lot better than a movie can ever do.
And they pulled it off on a cheaper budget.
Yes.
And it looked good. So today I think it would work. We need Blade. Not just because I'm fanboying Blade, even though I am.
Yes, you are.
We need Blade because it's a different aspect of the MCU.
Oh, yes.
And just bringing in the vampires, you know?
It would bring in the vampires. It would bring in Morbius. And you know what? They may be waiting until the Fox acquisition goes through, because then you can actually have...
You can have every aspect of everything other than what Sony owns, or like Morbius and that aspect. But then again, Sony's going to be acquired pretty soon, so it doesn't matter at this point. So it's going to happen. So
a character I want to see, though, here, instead of just an entire show, a character I want to see, because I did in the end really like how Mary Walker was. I want Moon Knight.
Yes.
Because they showed with Mary Walker how you can do a schizophrenic and not make them look like a lunatic, which I very much enjoy that. Because Split did it too.
What's holding Moon Knight back, and I guarantee this is what's doing it, they have to tone down the violence of the character.
Which they have with a lot of other characters.
I think they're currently probably discussing where can we dump a rated R Moon Knight series, because it ain't going to be the Disney streaming service, it ain't going to be Netflix. So it's probably going to be Hulu. And I think that's their holdup. They're waiting till everything is done so they can throw it on Hulu and make it more R-rated. Because...
But Netflix, I feel with Netflix it would fit a little bit more because, mind you, what don't we have in Netflix nowadays? I think it would
too, but here's the problem. I don't think they want another character controlled by Netflix. I think they want it in camp, and when the acquisition is done, they'll own majority stakes in Hulu, so nobody can call the shots but them. That's what I'm feeling. Anyways, you guys let us know your thoughts and everything down below, and we'll be back with more discussions.